What is up, fellow benchwarmers? Welcome back to another episode of Fantasy Benchwarmers. My name is JJP. With Komesh, we'll do the last final 10 depth chart, and of course talk about, the good thing about talking about them right now is that the preseason is, we're in the middle of the preseason game, so we'll be able to see some of these names, whether they are for real or something that we should just watch for the meantime. Anyway, like I said, my name is JJT with Komish. Komish, let's go move on to the next set of teams right away, so it won't drag too long. So the next one is OKC.
OKC, very interesting team, and a team that a lot of managers are misunderstanding. They think they're still tanking. I don't think they're in the tanking mode already. No, and I think that
Do
affects
managers think that?
a lot. I've seen a lot of comments about SGA that don't pick him third, fourth. They're tanking. They're tanking. I've seen a lot of that, whether foreigners or not in the Philippines, but also in the Philippines, some managers feel like they're still tanking because maybe they see them as there's no stars yet. The West is so deep. They don't have the star
Yeah.
there. But considering, did they make the play in, or at least made the play in? I think they did, right? I think they did make the play in last
Or
year,
they nearly made the play.
something like that. So yeah, I don't think they're tanking. I don't think they're gonna tank this year. Resting though, maybe they rest SGA, but the rest risk with SGA would be similar already with other star players. So I think OKC wants to win. They would try to win, and plus the big thing is they have Chet Holmgren.
Yeah.
They have Chet.
They made the play in. They made the play in last year.
Yeah. So yeah, they have Chet Holmgren this year, which is a very very big addition for the team. So OKC, they're gonna make the playoffs. I believe they're gonna make the playoffs this year.
All right. So looking at their roster, Shea, Giddy, Jalen Williams, Chet, players that are definitely rosterable. I think Shea is on the top of the list. First round value. The next is usually Chet goes
Yeah.
next, and then Jalen and Giddy goes. Depending on your preference, they go almost close to each other. Chet for real? You think he's
Yeah.
been picked 40s?
He was
Um,
picked 50s before the preseason, and when the preseason started, he went up because he played so well. He was able to stand toe
yeah,
to toe with Wemby, no, in that
yeah,
matchup. And even before that, he was playing very well. And you can see his body is not as thin as last year. With players who missed one season of their missed basically their first season, it really is beneficial to them. No, it sucks that they didn't get to play at all for 1 year, but in that 1 year, they not only rehab, they also were part of the team. They were able to
yeah,
experience how to be an NBA player and all those stuff. So they're not really rookies. They're rookies. They're considered rookies,
yeah.
but they're not rookie like the other
They're
rookies.
not
So
rookie in the sense that they know what the grind is like,
yes,
traveling,
yes,
going from one city to another, how that feels, how that goes, and then of course the training routine, like the
and
workouts practices. They know how those things go already.
I've never seen. I've mostly the recent memory like Blake Griffin. I think Embiid also missed his first year. Those guys, when they come back after that break, after that gap year, you could say they're really stronger. They're really more ready, and I see that with Chet already in the preseason and even during the summer league. I really like his value. Not as much because he moved up, as you said, to the 40s, but still for me, if he didn't get Wemby, Chet is not just a consolation prize. I think he's somebody that would be very, very good. My only worry about Chet is still the injury concern. Yeah, I know that his injury was a freak injury, but his body is just different. It's different. No, it's not normal to have that kind of a body. And we don't know. He's going to start at center. We just don't know how he will be able to bang with those stronger
Yeah,
centers in the league. So that's different from Wemby. Wemby has Zach Collins at least. Starting with him, they have
yeah,
Passy off the bench. I mean, I don't think the Thunder is gonna. put Jalen Williams at center. So yeah, that's my only concern. But I like Chet Holmgren for this season.
Other players that might surprise you.
I think one thing I want to talk to you about is Jalen Williams. No, this guy. Remember, he was top 30 the last month of last year. And
Yeah.
people say, "What is the real Jalen Williams?" Is the consensus on Williams is different. I don't know about you. Do you like him or not? That's. I mean, some people don't trust him. Some people like him so much. It's all over the place.
He's the thing about him, Jalen Williams. I think I can probably just now I thought about it, thinking about it. He is close to that. Remember Mikal Bridges
Yeah.
when he was in Phoenix? The
Yes.
stat
Yes.
sets are
Yes. Yes. Yes.
similar, but
Yep.
everyone's high on him because he doesn't really turn the ball over as much, or at least the field goal and the free throws are good. A very clean game, roto friendly, but in head to head, you don't know what he gives you, like what strengths he gives you. Maybe the steals.
Steals.
He
Yeah.
can pass. He can do make some assists. But this is not a deep OKC team. If you look at it, it's not deep. So I think he's gonna have some opportunities there. Um, even maybe get a run with the second unit. That's my sense. You probably get some run with the second unit. So I think he's still going to be solid. I don't know the 60s because he's been ranked in some, in Yahoo as in the 60s. If that's, I think I like him more at the 70s. At least you get a little more value there. But the 60s is fine. Maybe the late 60s. I've been seeing him pick late 60s as well. But like I said, no strengths, clear strengths other than the efficiencies and the clean game, as you like to call it with Mikal.
What you put it perfectly, no? Mikal Bridges of the new right now. He's
Yeah.
the new Mikal Bridges. Mikal
Yeah.
has moved up, so now it's his turn. Strength steals. It's really steals. There is consistent strength. No, he averaged 2 steals in his last 20, 1.8 last 20 games, last 25 I think close to 2. So that's solid. But steals, it can be hard to trust, no, hard to depend on.
I think if we go back to that Mikal comparison we did, I think he probably would score a little more with this team. He'll
Yes,
probably
yes.
have some good 25 point games. He'll probably have those type of games.
Yeah, yeah.
So I think that's the difference because Mikal, you don't expect him to go that 25 points, 30 points. Jalen Williams showed last year he can do it, and he'll probably gonna be doing it. This also reminds me as maybe somewhat of a James Harden type of role when he was
Yes.
in OKC.
With Jalen though, I think he's gonna rank higher than Josh Giddey by the season's
Because of
end
the efficiencies.
because of the efficiency. So in Roto, it just means that in Roto,
But the thing is, yeah, in Roto he's gonna be really
it's good,
better.
good. It's
But
gonna
in
be
head
good.
to head though, Josh
If you're
Giddey is a easier player to get because he can give you like 6-7 rebounds and 6-7 assists in a game.
yeah,
Plus score the
yeah.
same number of points with Jalen Williams.
I think it's gonna be, as you said, harder to build with Jalen Williams. But if you're
Yeah,
building a balanced team, maybe you don't want you want to be efficient, the field goal, free throws. Yeah, he's definitely a guy that you can really consider. Another player reminds me of is Tobias. No? Although Tobias doesn't steal, but he has some of the strengths of Tobias in that
yeah,
efficiency side, boring kind of player who doesn't score. Yeah, you said he can score 20s in the 20s, but I think in the end he's probably going to be at 17, 18 max. I think around
yeah.
that
That's
range.
how Mikal was right before.
Yeah, yeah. So I think
Uh,
Jalen, you're right. 70s, I would love him to fall there. No, for me to really like picking him.
and he can at this point, even right now, in some drafts, he does
He
fall at
does.
the early 70s.
Yeah.
Just because no one knows what he can do. I mean, there's no clear strength.
Yeah.
People just feel like when you're in the 70s, oh, it's Jalen Williams, he's ranked 60s. So that means it's good value if I pick him in the 70s. So
Yeah.
yeah. Um, Next up is the Orlando Magic. Um,
Orlando Magic, we can probably talk about Paolo Banchero right away, no? Before we talk about the others. Star. He's their star,
yeah,
and people have been picking him in the top 70 this year.
yeah,
From
yeah,
last season, where he wasn't even a top 100 guy. I don't even think he finished in the top 150 last year. And this year, people are picking him in the top 70. I get it, I get it. He's a guy as a 19-year-old scored 20 plus points, which is very, very rare in the NBA. He averaged 20 points last year. So that kind of scoring is really hard to find. But I just don't know if he's gonna round up his fantasy game enough to justify that leap. Because last year he averaged 20 points, he averaged 6 9 7 rebounds, 3.7 assists, but point 0.8 steals, point 0.5 blocks, so not much there. And then 42% from the field, and then free throws is 73%. There's got to be a lot of jump in efficiency, maybe some stocks for him to justify being a top 70 player, no, top 65 player where he's
yeah,
being picked.
yeah, yeah.
Maybe it's just
But
me.
again,
I don't know.
the thing in head to head though, you got to know what you're getting, right? And he definitely is someone. If you like, it's sometimes a matter of preference, I guess. If you don't mind the bad percentages, you still go with him. If you need some scoring, maybe he still gives you those
I
scoring
guess
and
he's the anti
rebounding.
Jalen Williams in a way.
Yeah, in a way,
Like,
yes, he
yeah,
is right. He can score more, but doesn't do much in score and rebound. I think those are his strengths, and I think that's at least if that's clear for you, it's going to be easier for you to see. You know, all right, I'm
I
gonna
I
pick
would
him.
say I would say the defense he showed in the World Cup with the Team USA was very impressive. I mean, he showed he could defend,
Yeah,
which is good for his development, which is stat set development. So I think I would certainly see him getting to the top 100 this year with those improvements. I think the efficiency will improve. I think the stocks will improve. I just don't think it will go all the way up to the top 60. But top 100 is there. And then eventually he will slowly rise and rise and rise. Maybe it's just too big of a leap for me. It's just my opinion.
all right. The another question here for Orlando is their guard rotation.
Yeah.
They have an abundance of guards here. Of course, Fultz, Gary Harris, Cole Anthony, Jalen Suggs, and their rookie Anthony Black. Uh,
And
I
then
know.
there's another
I,
rookie
I
there.
think Cole. I think Cole is on the trading block. I think I saw that news somewhere
Yeah.
before, but that kind of died down already. I don't know where that's going. So the chances of him playing a lot is no very low, right?
I
Am
think
I
they
safe to
start.
assume that?
No, I think they're gonna play Cole. Cole is one of their best scorers also.
Yeah,
If you look at the lineup, you look at the starters. Yeah, there's Wagner, there's Banquero, Wendell Carter can score certainly, but the bench, very, especially if it's Suggs who goes to the bench. Although I've heard that Suggs might start and Harris might come off the bench. But
yeah,
if it's Suggs on off the bench, I think they would need Cole Anthony to play with Suggs, no, to to kind of give them that scoring punch. That
yeah,
Suggs usually doesn't give. Plus they pair quite well, and plus they have you see the other players there like Jonathan Isaac, Joe Ingles. These guys don't really score, don't really score a lot. So I think Cole will play. He might get traded though, because as you said, there's an Anthony Black behind.
yeah. And
No,
I think there's been news that he is really on the trading block.
yes, I think eventually, but for early in the season, they'll be using him. Now, whether Anthony Black or Jet Howard, one of their another lottery pick, gets minutes, not yet. Not at the start of the season. I don't see them getting meaningful minutes. So yeah, I think if we look at Orlando, really the guys here are Banquero, Wagner, Wendell Carter, and your favorite, Markel
My
Fultz.
favorite, Michael
Yes,
Fultz. My
Markel
favorite
Fultz.
80s pick. Actually, 80s is a little high. It's just that I know it won't come back to me. He won't come back to me.
It's gonna be
Uh,
an unpopular opinion, but I think Fultz might be better than Chris Paul this year. They're very similar. I think at that range, it's Fultz, it's Chris Paul,
it's
it's
just that
Tyus Jones.
Fultz doesn't take threes as much, but the mid-range game is good. Uh, but again, this is a former number one pick, so I think he might take that leap. I'm not expecting him to go like SGA type of level, like first round value. But if you pick him in the 80s, I think top 60 is easy for Fultz. The assists, the steals are gonna be there. He can rebound, he can score, right? He's not a bad field goal player just because he doesn't take too much threes.
I won't say it's easy, but it's doable. Yeah, you're right. He doesn't take threes. That's his really his biggest
Yeah.
problem. But the percentages, surprisingly, I mean, for the field goal, it's good. No, it's good for him. It's just that
But he's close to 50, I think. He's like
51.
47, 49.
Last year was 51%. No, and this guy is 24 years old.
Yeah.
So I think he's young enough. No, he had a very horrific start to his season, but if he's healthy, you're right. No, I think he gets a
If you just
bigger.
watch him move, I think he can score. He can score. He's known to be a scorer
Yeah, he can
before. It's
score.
just that
He
the
I
shooting
don't
mechanics just got broken.
I just don't know if he's gonna exert a lot of effort in scoring. Maybe he's trying to defer to means maybe try to manage the team more than score. No, I that's what I feel in Orlando. I think Banquero and Wagner are really 1A and 1B. No, so it's hard to be scoring 20 points if you have those two players. He's gonna start, so he's gonna play with them majority of his minutes. No, so the thing is, if he gets 13, 14 points, he gets, you said the assist last year was 5.7. That's the edge of Chris Paul over him usually. No, Chris
Yeah.
Paul can get 7, 8 in his sleep. But if Fultz can increase that 5.7 to at least,
7.
6.5, six point
Yeah.
eight, maybe 7, yeah, that top 60, top 65 is really doable for Fultz. And he's not somebody who's really hyped by a lot of people too.
Yeah. All right. That's Orlando. Anthony Black, you think worth a roster spot?
Not yet,
Easily.
not this year. I'm not seeing him.
Suggs. How about Suggs?
A lot of people love Suggs. I just don't like him. I don't like him at all.
You're
I don't
done.
know.
You're done with
Maybe
Suggs.
you
I know you
guys. I
liked
know.
him when he was a rookie.
Yeah, when he was rookie, but when I saw him, it's like a Caruso. It's just too inefficient scoring wise. His shot is broken in my opinion, and turnovers are killer. But I like him if I'm gonna play. If I'm gonna coach, I like him because he's a guy who can defend, he can steal, and
Yeah, he
those
can do
stuff. But
a little bit of everything.
but in fantasy right now, now plus I don't see him getting a lot of minutes also, so I don't see the usage there for
All right.
Suggs.
Let's move on to Philly. Um, so
Well, the
Philly,
biggest.
the biggest good news, the good news here is that James Harden showed up for training camp, and Pat Bev said he looked good in his podcast. He said in his podcast he looked good, um, and he looked ready. He looked in shape, so that's good, right, for James Harden. I think his draft stock, moved up a bit. I've seen him being picked like second round late already.
I
Unlike
think
with
I think with Harden, this is like the best case scenario while he's not yet traded. The fact that he showed up for camp, he showed up for practice in shape, that's like
yeah.
checks all the boxes. But in I think they had a scrimmage and they held him out. They didn't ask him to play. The Nick Nurse is not. I don't know. That's why there was speculation he's going to be traded already. Just because they're holding him out. There's still a lot of ways this can go wrong. No, more ways it
Yeah.
can go wrong than it can go right. Plus the fact any minor injury, he might really not have the motivation to play through it also. And he's not a player who doesn't get injured. He's always injured. There's always some little things here and there. So if you say his stock went up, I could see that. But should it go up? I don't think so. Even if he gets traded to LA, which is the only team that really wants him right now, he has a lot of competition
The
there.
Clippers. The
The
Clippers.
Clippers, no, he has a lot of competition there. There's Westbrook is not the guy coming back. Westbrook will still be there. Kawhi, Paul
Yeah,
George.
the big three would still be there.
I think the only thing that the Clippers are offering are draft picks and draft swaps. So not much in terms of players. So I think Harden is a guy, to really avoid. I made a mistake in picking him in a league, one league in a FPW, but preseason, pre all those news. Although, but we know that he wanted to be traded, but I didn't think it through that well. That's why I picked him. But I also had Jokic there, so maybe that was my buffer. I thought I could gamble a little bit with him. But if you are drafting, I would suggest just letting him go, just letting other people deal with the stress with Harden.
Maxi is another player.
I love Maxi. Yeah, I love Maxi, and I really do. I really feel like all the upside are there. Everything I said about Harden, the guy that will benefit there is
You
Maxi.
think he can move up his assist numbers? Because that's the only thing I don't like about Maxi.
Yeah,
For
last
a
night I
point
picked.
guard, the
Yeah,
assists aren't as nice.
yes, and that was the reason actually I picked him last night because I was punting. I was trying to punt assist at least in a 16 team league, and yeah, the assists. I think if Harden leaves, definitely it will go up because who can create in this team? Patrick Beverly. Patrick Beverly can create anything. So if Harden leaves, nobody comes in. For sure, Maxi will be the lead guard, and for sure he's ready. He's ready to become a star. It's just there ready for him to take. No, and especially with Embiid also probably coasting through the regular season. If Harden leaves, I would see Embiid being like a Butler, emotional and all those stuff and everything. So I think Maxi is a guy that I'm very high on this year.
Actually, if Harden leaves, that's going to be another worry for Philly. I'm not sure if they're going to be as good, with
Mm,
Harden.
yeah,
But Nick Nurse, like he's a great coach, so he might be able to make it work. Yeah,
Paul Reed.
other play. Paul Reed.
Paul Reed is
I
the
actually like Paul Reed as a handcuff for NBA.
yes. Paul Reed was the guy that was hyped too early and then lost the hype later on. There was a
Why is
part,
that? He's been playing well in the preseason. He's been playing okay.
but when he was hyped, he was going as high as 100. At that point in time when
Yeah,
Josh
that was
Lloyd,
too high.
yeah, when Josh Lloyd started
Are
to
you
talk about
blaming Josh Lloyd?
no, I'm saying managers when they hear something from Josh Lloyd, sometimes they overreact.
Yeah,
And that was the reason. But if you picked him at the 140, 150, yeah, he's fine. He's fine. No, he's still fine. But per minute is good. Here's the thing about per minute. Per minute studs. When their minutes are 12, 15 minutes, they really look good. But when their minutes are 25, 23, 24, it doesn't mean
yeah.
that you just
Hey,
multiply
sometimes
the numbers. No, it's not a ratio and proportion sometimes. When more minutes happen, their players per minute, stats don't catch up. So for
yeah,
Paul Reed, I think as long as your expectations are manageable, like some rebounds, steals, here and there, yeah, you should be fine. But don't pick him expecting him to be, a top 100 guy this season, unless
yeah.
Embiid goes down. Unless Embiid goes down.
Which we don't like as well.
Yeah.
Yeah. I guess that's it. The others,
Nah.
Tobias has been falling, which might be good because he's falling to. He's been going at the 80s earliest the 80s, and then latest around past a little past the 100, which is
100.
great
Yeah.
value. So
Yeah.
still probably still going to be solid, especially if Harden gets traded, because he might run some, he might facilitate a bit, so that assist numbers might go up. All right. After Philly, it's the Phoenix Suns, the
Yeah, the
newly
Phoenix Suns.
built
So
Phoenix Suns.
Well, the biggest news is Nurkic, of course, replacing Aiton there.
Yeah.
We've talked about the Suns a lot. Booker, Beal, Durant. I would say Durant, whoever comes, will be a top 10 per game player, maybe even higher. No, the question is, will he play enough? Play enough to
Yeah.
justify a first round pick. That's always been the concern, and I will say he won't. I will say he won't play enough. I don't have a KD, and I really don't want to pick KD because if you look at the history, he has not played more than 50 something games for a lot of seasons already, and I don't see the trend changing this year for
Yeah,
Phoenix.
especially in a team like this that is loaded.
Yeah, yeah,
It's going to be hard to, force him to play. Force him to play through minor injuries. He'll probably sit a bit, rest a bit, and he's at the point in his career in he's probably just gonna wait for the playoffs to come.
that is true. That is true. Actually, the guy I like here really is Devin Booker. I'm higher on him than a lot of people. No, some people don't see him as a legit top 14 guy. A player you can pick in the first round. But I think he can. I think he can. This is his team. Even if Durant comes in, Bill comes
Yeah,
in. This Phoenix is Booker's team, and Booker is an efficient scorer. Also,
yeah,
maybe doesn't have as much stocks, but he's getting there. He's also improved that. Plus, the assist that I think will come. I think they have Beal as a starting point guard here, but it's really gonna be Booker, who would get mostly that ball handling role for Phoenix. So I like the assist boost that will counteract the probably lesser scoring. I think the efficiency will improve. I think the assists will improve. Turnovers may be higher a little bit, but scoring will come down. But overall, I think very safe pick. No, if you pick Devin Booker, so I like him more. For if you're picking anybody here in Phoenix,
who do you like as the fifth guy here?
it's a
Is it
Okogie.
Okogie?
I mean, fantasy wise,
Yeah, fantasy wise, and maybe
fantasy
just
wise,
who
probably the
starts.
fifth. Who starts? Okogie starts. No, but fantasy wise, I would say I would probably even go Eubanks here. Fantasy wise, I just feel like Nurkic. We know what Nurkic is not very durable, and this is the same role Eubanks had last year in Portland. He was
Yeah,
backing up.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, and it just happened like he left Portland, but he ended up still backing up Nurkic. And remember what he could do last year. What he did last year when
Yeah.
Nurkic went down. He was solid double double guy. I think Eubanks is a kind of a sleeper big if you're in a deep league. In a shallower format, he's a streamer for sure. No, a
Yeah,
streamer.
or
So
a player you wait,
yeah,
the player you scoop up when the starter gets injured, somewhat
the
like
others,
low end McConnell's or the low end
yeah,
Nazarene.
the others are all streamers for me. Keita Bates is somebody I would have wanted if he started, but I don't think he's starting. So he's another guy just to monitor, a streamer. Eric Gordon, we know he can score. So, maybe streaming for scheduling purposes, Eric Gordon, Grayson Allen for threes. These are guys all really mostly for streaming for certain categories.
All right. Last. No, not yet the last, but Portland,
The
the
fifth
other
team.
end of the 15, the other end of the big Damian Lillard trade. So this
Yeah.
is pretty much a whole different Portland team with Scoot now starting, Simons being the guy probably, right?
Yeah.
Shadon Sharp. We still don't know if it's going to be Sharp or Tybalt who's going to start. Jeremy Grant is also, of course, the other guy that's left, the only guy that's left from this the trade. DeAndre Ayton, of course, the guy that came back.
Yeah, I think Simons is the guy here. No, Aiton and Simons. But I would have loved Aiton more before Robert Williams got traded to them. So I like Simons mostly here. More. Although I would say Aiton will finish higher than Simons, but I think in their current positions, I love Maxi, right? But if you didn't get Maxi, Simons would be a great
Yeah.
second option. Especially he's going like
Actually, Simons is going a little lower, a
yeah,
lot lower than Simon.
70s. Yeah, seven
Yeah.
a lot lower than
He
Maxi,
is
but it's a
closer
good
to
point.
that Tyler Hero range.
I like Simons more than Hero. I would say that now. But I like Hero too. But these are the guys that are almost the same kind of players. We saw what Simons did without Damian Lillard. Now we already
Mhm.
know what he can do. I know this is a different team with Scoot there, with Aiton there, but he will get a lot of usage. No, Simons will get a lot of usage. So I think he's the guy that you can really target right now in this team. I like him of course, way more than Scoot. A lot of people are overdrafting Scoot also. I
Top
know he's a
100
start.
for Scoot.
No, I don't think he's gonna be top 100 this year.
Yeah, because I've
It's
seen him
not.
being drafted within that top 100 range.
I've seen him getting drafted in the top 100 range, and he's been impressive. He's very impressive. Scoot Henderson for a rookie, but turnovers, the shooting, I'm not sure will be sustainable. I don't think he can shoot 50% like he's shooting the preseason in the regular
Yeah.
season. If he does, then okay, I'm wrong. But my projection, I don't think he's gonna get to the 50%. I don't think the 3-point shot would be very consistent. No, but he's certainly better than other guards similar to him, like Ivy last year. He's gonna be better than those players for
All
his
right.
first season.
This Portland team is probably different in the sense that they might be what, six deep, seven deep when it comes to rosterable players in fantasy. Malcolm Brogdon's there, Shadon Sharp, and of course Robert Williams, and sometimes guys like to take Tyball for the steals and blocks. But your take on Malcolm Brogdon at this point?
I think fantasy wise, you can get him in a certain like Conley situation. Same like Conley. The guy that late in the draft that gives you assists, which is really not
Rare,
nobody
which is
else.
rare. Yeah.
It's very hard to find late in the draft, and that's the value. That's their value. Let's say you have Halliburton. You got that's your strength, assist. No, if you just need one more player to just make sure that
Solidify that.
solidify it, that category is yours, then that's Brogdon, that is Conley. And plus, where they're being picked, Brogdon is being picked at the 120s, past 120. I think it's very little risk already. Even if he falls to an injury or anything, it's not as risky as getting him before when he was going. So I'm okay with Brogdon.
All right.
I actually like
Anything
Robert
else?
Williams more. I think they plan to play him at power forward with Aiton, which we talked about before when the trade happened. We thought that's not gonna happen, but they talked. Chancey Billups had said that they will try it, so that will help Robert Williams more than Aiton for sure, because if he gets 5 minutes, even just 5 minutes at power forward, the 20 minutes becomes 25. We know what Robert Williams can do. We know,
Yeah.
we know, we know if he's healthy, he can really rack up those stocks and rebounds, no,
Yeah.
especially the blocks. So Robert Williams, another player being slept on here, uh, in Portland.
And he has been falling in the
He's
drafts, like
falling. Yes, he's
falling
falling.
outside the hunt
Yep.
sometimes. Right. Next we have well, since we talked about Scoot, let's jump first to the San Antonio Spurs. I know everyone wants to talk about Wembanyama, and these are the top two picks. So before we move to Sacramento, San Antonio has some questions here. Of course, obviously, Trey Jones probably going to start. Vassell's probably is for sure going to start. I think Wembanyama. The starters are set pretty much for them, right?
The only question there people have been asking is where does Sohan fit?
Yeah.
No, I think that's the biggest question. Sohan has started twice, and he started at point guard. Now, if you're gonna ask me if he's gonna be the starting point guard, I think it's still Trey Jones, but Sohan might be the sixth man for the Spurs. No, I think Keldon might start. I think, but Keldon has said that he's okay to start, to come off the bench if that's what
Mm-hmm.
Pop wants. So those six, the five that you mentioned and Sohan, I think those are the six that you have to monitor closely here in San Antonio. I like Sohan, if he can play, if he gets really consistent regular minutes at point guard, I hope he gets the point guard eligibility for one. Although, commissioners can do that also now. But if he continues to do that, the assist certainly will help. He's a very versatile guy, Sohan. So he's another guy that will surely benefit from playing point guard.
Yeah. Apparently, before we recorded this, there's been a trade
Mhm.
submitted in one of the leagues, and it's Trey Jones and Jeremy Sohan traded for each other. So that's going to be an
That's
interesting.
interesting because I think Trey Jones is still higher than Jeremy Sohan. I don't
Yeah,
see
but
them at the same level. But maybe the owner of Trey got a little scared because he saw Sohan starting ahead of Trey in one of those games. Today,
yeah.
Trey Jones in play, so that's
In
not counted.
Sohan is probably the more exciting player to own, right? I
Yeah.
mean, today you know what to expect. He's not really a very high upside player, unlike Sohan. Sohan could, be
But
a bit
I mean,
has a higher ceiling than Trey Jones.
Tyus Jones is a better play than Trey Jones. But Trey Jones, there's a chance he can average more assists than Tyus Jones. Because did you see the alley-oop with Wembanyama? I mean, that was so... Wembanyama was almost in the free throw line when he got that ball, and he
Yeah,
was
yeah.
able to... Trey Jones will just need to put the
Just
ball,
love
lob it, and
love every time.
Wembanyama's gonna be able to dunk it. So
And since we're there with Banyama, let's talk about him. He's been moving.
yeah,
Well, gone are the days where you can pick Wembanyama at the 30s or even at the early 40s. That's done. That's gone. You can't do that anymore. I've seen him, like I said in our Twitter, I've seen him being picked at fifth. That's the highest
nah,
I've seen him pick. Fifth.
that's
That's crazy pick.
that's crazy. That's crazy.
Um, and then, but usually he's out by the second round.
He should be picked there. I mean, he should be... The right pick is, of course, 30s. I said that 28, 27, 28 to 30, but that will not happen. So the highest I'll go is 24. Late second. That's the highest I'll go. I think
Mhm.
he can reach that, but if we pick him that high, it's more of because you just want to enjoy playing fantasy and not just think about whether he's gonna really finish there or he has value or whatever. You just want to
Yeah.
enjoy your
You
team,
want to make sure.
and just enjoy have owning. Sometimes fantasy is also about you liking the players you own.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
you're
I
it's
mean,
exciting, right?
I don't have stocks of Wembanyama because I couldn't fathom picking him that early.
Yeah. Actually, I have him in one league in Fantrax also. I have in two leagues, one in Fantrax, one in Yahoo. The Fantrax one, I picked him 24. So, and I, I just wanted to see,
This is still a little early, right? I mean
a little
that
early,
one
but
was a little before the preseason started,
no,
most likely.
after the preseason. When I
Oh,
saw him in the preseason, I kind of got the sense that, yeah, he's a real deal and he won't be... The struggles will be there, but the floor will be much higher than before, than what I thought of before. I think the floor is
yeah.
higher now. So the concern with Wembanyama, of course, the shutdown risk will be there. I told you that. I told you that he will be shut down at some
So
point.
two concerns I have: the shutdown risk later on, or the maybe the quote unquote load management type of uh, way the Spurs usually does it. And the second one is that the preseason games, what he was against the C team, the B team of certain teams, I'm not sure how tested he's gonna be when it comes to the starting players, right? The top level players. I know he's gonna be good. Don't get me wrong. I know he's gonna be good. He's probably gonna block a bunch of shots. He's probably gonna score. But can his body hold up banging day in, day out? I mean, every day
I think
with the big guys.
I'm not that as the injury concern probably, but the body and everything, yeah, he's gonna be beaten up. But I think the Spurs, they have a very smart coaching staff.
Yeah.
They'll be able to mask that. They'll be able to hide him at some point. The thing though is that yeah, you're right. I don't think he's gonna be that efficient in the regular season as he was in the preseason. And plus the fact that his shots were falling. Now outside shots were falling. And if you watch people who just watch him for the first time, like, oh, this guy is like so good. He's like Durant. He can score everywhere, 3 pointers, outside shot, dunk, and everything. But when you watch him, those are the highlights. But if you watch him in the Euro League, there were a lot of games where he couldn't make a basket as outside
No.
shots were not falling. So it looks good when it
But
falls.
but that's the Euro League, and everyone that came from the Euro League has said it's easier to score in the NBA.
Yes, but outside shooting is outside shooting. I think he's still not consistent enough. That is the reason why I think, picking him fifth or expecting him to be a first rounder this year, that's not gonna happen. That's just not gonna happen. It will not. That's why I said 30 should be the earliest you pick him. Because 28 to 30, because I think that is where he will really end up, when it's all said and done. So it will be the responsible uh way to draft him, which is
All
there,
all
at
right,
that spot.
that's that in San Antonio,
Vassell,
Sacramento.
guys, Vassell, Devin
All
Vassell.
right,
I am
quick on
high on
Brazil.
Devin Vassell. Yeah, you just want to say it out there. He's gonna be very good this year.
Yeah, but I hope he stays healthy because that was his problem
Yeah,
last
but he's
year.
bulked up. Vassell bulked up, and he's. I see a jump. I really see a jump with Devin Vassell this year.
All right, Sacramento's boring. Nothing's changed. They'll probably be going to be the same.
Fox will fall. Fox will
I
fall for
think
sure. Fox will not be as good as last year. I will say it now.
really.
He's
You
not
think
gonna be as
so?
good as last year. Yeah, he although he's not being picked
It's
with
not being
last year
picked high. He's like being picked there with Jalen Brunson. That
lower
range.
lower than Bronson. So I think that's good. That
Jamal
at least
Murray. Jamal Murray level.
yeah, around Murray and Fox level at the 40s, early 40s, which is at least there. I thought he was gonna be picked earlier, maybe 30s because of what he did last year. So I think the managers are smart enough to know that that's not gonna be sustainable for Darren Fox. But the guy that I like here is Keegan Murray. Keegan Murray is a guy that, well, we are in FBW leagues and our managers are smart. So even if he's ranked in the 115 to 119, I think, level in Yahoo, he's still being picked like 90s. So they're
Mm-hmm.
smart. But if you are in a league that they follow the rankings really strictly and not much jump, I think you can get Keegan for a very, very good discount. He's a guy, last year, top 3 points player, rookie, in history. I think that continues, but he's gonna do a lot more this year. He's gonna rebound. I think the stocks will improve. So I like Keegan Murray a lot, in this team.
All right. Who's next? The
And then
last few.
one more last for Sacramento. Vezenkov, people have been asking about him. The guy can shoot, but he can't do anything else. So, so that's all. That's all. That's
Yeah,
all I will
everyone's
say.
been asking. I mean, lots of the media members have been asking about Vezenkov,
Not
even
gonna be
coach.
fantasy draftable player. It's a streamer for 3 pointers.
All right. Next, Toronto. Toronto is another interesting team because we all know that Toronto has always been active in the trading scene. Um, it seems like some of their guys have been on the trade block in like forever, like OG, Siakam.
I think,
They added Schroeder and of course Potel from last year.
and they
Yeah,
have a new coach, and
they have
that's
a new
the
coach.
most underrated part of Toronto that people have
Wait, who's
forgotten.
their
It's the new
coach
coach,
again?
Darko. I don't know, around
Yeah.
Manove or whatever. Serbian from Memphis. No, the coach is the biggest change. We usually don't see as much a big of a philosophy change in coaches, but this will be big. Nick Nurse did not play his bench, but with this guy, he wants to play 10 deep. No, he wants to play 10 deep. So that alone is a big change. I don't think he's gonna play the starters 38 to 40 minutes like Nick Nurse is doing. So that's already big with the value of Pascal Siakam, the value of, well, for me, Siakam. But if Van Vliet was here, the value of Van Vliet would have taken a hit also. But Siakam for sure. No, Siakam is being picked 27, 28. Could be a bust at that position. The only
Mhm.
thing that's good with Siakam is he has center eligibility already. That is the
Yeah.
biggest help for him. But I don't see him getting the same value as last year with this coach. No, but
Um,
yeah.
yeah. I mean, this is a low end type of question. Boucher, one of our favorite per minute guy, having mentioned that the coach might play 10-man deep. How does that go
I
for
think
Boucher?
that helps Boucher. No, I have him in two of our leagues. One in the non FBW, one in FBW. But it's only because it's a deep league. No, I
Mm-hmm.
think this Champions League last night. I think I picked him as my last pick. In the 16 team and in 16 team leagues, I've been picking him. As I said, this is a new coach, and if he gives Boucher 20 minutes consistently, yeah, there will be ups, there will be downs, there will be games where he'll disappear, there will be games where he'll look so good. Overall, it will average out, and it will be something worth 14 team roster spot. So he's a guy people already are tired of because
Yeah.
he's been the sleeper 2 3 years ago. But I think this year is gonna be better for him. With a new coach.
All right.
I like Scotty here though. Scotty Barnes, I think will take the next step.
Scotty Barnes
Should
though
take the
has
next
been
step.
dropping as well in drafts.
Yes, and I like him. And people have talked about Evan Mobley that he should be taking the next step. I think Scotty Barnes too. I think Scotty Barnes will be taking the next step too.
All right. Last two teams, Utah Jazz. The
For
Jazz.
yeah, for Utah, no, I
The
think
biggest question is Taylor Horton Tucker.
who will start at the guard positions.
Yeah.
Right now it's Taylor Horton Tucker and Sexton. Sometimes it's Taylor Horton Tucker and I think Clarkson. But so far, it's been Taylor Horton Tucker. But if you watch the games, the Utah Jazz reporters have been very, very critical of him, of his game. But in the stats, it's not
In
showing
in
because
the
in the
fantasy
stats,
world, it's the same.
yeah, they've all been saying Chris Dunn is the best point guard, but he's not getting as much minutes as THT. So what will happen? What will plus there's another rookie there, Keontae George, who
Yeah.
is very, very good. I've talked about him in the summer league. And during the draft, I talked about him also. I see him as a very, very, very promising guard. So it's kind of all over the place. If you want me to guess, I think Colin Sexton will start. That's for sure. And I think Taylor Horton Tucker starts for the first few games. I don't see it continuing. I think Chris Dunn will somehow eventually
Or
be the
Keontae
point guard
George
there.
would probably be used
I think Keontae
towards the
would
latter
be
part.
maybe later on, or maybe more of
Yeah.
a sixth man or a key bench player for his first season at least.
All
Yeah.
right. Anyone else?
People have
John
been
Collins.
asking about
John Collins.
John Collins and Taylor Hendricks, no, the other rookie. John Collins, I for the little I've seen, the role seems to be similar with Atlanta. So if people are expecting a bounce back from him, I don't really see that happening. Uh,
It might have
with
been. It might be worse right now.
Could even
It
be
could be
worse. Could
worse.
even be
I mean,
worse. Yeah,
the
could even
rebounding
be
numbers
worse.
could go down because Markkinen can rebound, Kessler can rebound,
The blocks will
even
go down with
Phil
Kessler there.
Horton Tucker can rebound. I mean,
Yeah.
the the blocks might not be there because Kessler's there. So I don't know. Scoring maybe, but Markkinen's there, Clarkson's there.
He's more of a roto guy, really. If you want something who's more efficient, center eligible guy, clean field goal, free throws, with
I don't think he's center
balance.
eligible in Yahoo.
I think he is.
Is
I
he?
think he is. Yeah, I think he is. So, yeah, mostly just a roto guy. No, for me, no, John Collins.
All right. The top 100 pick? No.
No, I think I'll probably pass on a top 100 pick for Collins. I just have so many players I like at that spot to pick him there.
All right. Last, the Wizards. The Wizards are going to be the new interesting tanking team.
The interesting, well, we talked about Tayus a while ago. He's going to be as solid as we can get, no? But watch out, he's going to get traded. I think there's a big chance he's gonna get traded by February, by the trade deadline. Then we have Poole, Kuzma, and Gafford. I think that's a big three also. I love Poole. I think
Mhm.
I think Poole top 50 is right. No, I think there is a level to Poole that I think Tyler Hero and the other guys cannot get this year because of the team he plays for.
Yeah,
I mean, he's gonna be just scoring
a
crazy.
lot.
You
Yeah.
know, a lot of threes, a lot of
But again, the
points, and there will be assists.
efficiency will be a pain.
True, field goal will be a pain. That you have to close your eyes but in a punt field goal team, by all means, you have to get pulled. I mean, the free throws are solid, threes, points. He can pass. So and he has steals, no? He has steals. So I think Poole will be solid, and then Kuzma is the same. More of a punt field goal guy, but he's also gonna score a lot, and he can rebound. He's a very solid rebounder. So I think those three plus Gafford will
Yeah.
be the players to watch out for here.
Yeah. The interesting thing here with Washington, like I said, they might be tanking already, and by the end of the season, there might be some players who might emerge as
Well,
the late, how do you call it, crazy season players, right? Bilial Koulibaly. How do you
I'm
pronounce
so
it?
I'm really surprised they put him as a starter here. He did start their last game and he played well, 4 steals, right? So people
Yeah,
were all and then people
he's
suddenly
known
appeared.
for his defense.
Yeah, suddenly appeared in drafts after that preseason game. But I don't think he starts. No, I that was a time when Denny was out with an injury. That's why they started. But
So does Denny start
Pilar.
or does Kispert start?
Denny will start. I think Denny should start. As far as I know, Denny will start.
So those are few players like Kispert, Dillon Wright. These might be the crazy season additions that can win you your league later on. So you have to somehow remember their names. All right, that's it. Anything else for Washington?
I think that's it.
All right, that's it, guys, for this. Let me just stop sharing this. All right, that's it. All of the depth chart uploaded, and hopefully that helped you. I know it's kind of late, but this final week before the season starts, this is where drafts can get intense as well in terms of frequency. All right. As always, follow us on Twitter, there below, and on YouTube at Fantasy Benchwarmers. And with that, see you guys again in the next episode. Bye, guys.